Something strange has occurred at the Circle K. I just had one monitor go on the fritz. So I hope you guys can hear me. I can't see the chat anymore. Let me see what's going on here. I think I need to turn off the continuity. 1 second. Let's try bringing it back. A weird glitch. Hang on, we lost some stuff here. Let's see. All right. That's live. We lost some stuff. There we go. I have a second monitor that I was watching, that I used to watch the stuff, but it just died. And now I'm seeing a film. Interesting. Let's try changing that. Here, we'll start a drone. Alright, hang on 1 sec. You see me, but I see an advertisement for Chick-fil-A crispy chicken here. That is not what this should be. Hang on a second. Boop. You go away. You settle down. Hang on 1 second. The monitor with the chat is very, very small in the corner and I cannot read it. So give me 1 second. Just listen to the drone and I'll shut up for a minute. Well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to forego the whole TV thing, so see the chat. I'm going to just increase the size of the text in the tiny, tiny chat window. And hopefully I'll be able to read it. There we go. Here we go. All right, so you guys can validate for me, assuming you can hear the tunes. All right, and audio, and it looks good. All right, cool. All right, let me know if the voice ducking is okay. I got some feedback last week that said my voice was ducking everything too low, whatever that means. But I'm just trying to make sure I'm intelligible above the other stuff. So let me know. Let's see who's floating around. Let's see. Jeff, Andy, Helical Coil, Garen, Audrey, Half God, Half Beast. I need to know your name one day because I can't. Calling out Half God, Half Beast is a little over the top. Let's see. Quattro Pashina. Hey, the Wookiee. An Emotion. Good to see ya. Synth Addict. Cool. All right. So, today we are just doing just Berlin School ambience. I've got the drone going. I'm gonna go through. I'll share a few things here. Oh yeah, I had a couple notes on the phone that I wanted to talk about, but that can wait. So I am beat. Oh my God, am I beat? I can bring some of this down. Leave the drone going, but we'll just bring the volume down. All right. So, what's going on? HGHB or Biscuit. Okay, I'll remember those. Cool. Everyone calls me Biscuit. There's another guy who shows up who's a local in the synth community here, who everyone calls Soup. So you should hang out with Soup. We'll have soup and biscuits. It'll be great. So what's going on? I am beat. We put in a new garden bed, a 300 square foot big lozenge shape area where we did it old school. We tore up all the turf by hand, removed all the turf, planted all the plants. But we did all the planting yesterday. It took about 9 hours, and I am super sore. So, and I still have to do. We're doing a rock border around it, sort of faux granite made out of concrete, and so I'm super beat, but that's okay. I'm happy. My wife's happy, right? That's all that really matters. So, Sudanva, hey, welcome. And so what are we going to do today? So let's go through the sounds that I want to share with you. Change the camera angle again because I like to be able to look. I like to be able to read the chat and have my face pointed at the camera at the same time. So I can, it seems like we're having a conversation. So, Brian, Trackerjack, good to show up. So let's go through some of these sounds. We'll talk about what's going on. I have some questions for you guys. Really about, I'm this close to buying another synth. I really, really want a Roland synth of some kind, but I don't like the majority of what Roland is selling right now. So I want to talk about that, but we'll get around to that. But warm your jets up on that one. All right, let me bring some of these down or back up. Let's talk about. Stop some of these patterns. All right. So what do we got today? So we're going to do some pretty classic Berlin School. We're going to do like cosmic-y sounding things today. All right. So to that end, we've got this big old drone. All right. So we'll use that periodically. That is the only digital software out of the box synth. This is a drone that's I slapped together out of Omnisphere. And it's a couple different sources that I've layered on top of each other. That'll run. Got a few plucks. Got a lot of plucks today, and we're doing rather than synthy plucks, they're synths, but I'm doing sort of a wood sort of textured pluck. And that's running through, everything's running through delay and reverb. This is running through what is this? It's a Ableton delay called Pitch Loop 89 or something like that. It's in Suite, and it's sort of like it's leaning towards what is it? The microcosm pedal. It's got like a micro looper in it, and you can right now it's reversing its grains. So one of the things I'm trying to do is not buy a microcosm pedal. I just don't want to spend the money. But I'm mostly because I'm fairly certain I can build one out of the effects I have in the box. So. All right. And as far as synths go, the audio of this is coming out of, what is this? Oh, this is the ESQ1. Our old friend from Ensoniq, or Ensoniq, as I like to say. So shout out to Taskboy3000, who I purchased the ESQ1 from maybe almost a year ago now. So get a, ESQ1 are really inexpensive. And their transwave digital synthesis sounds pretty good. We've also got floating around a bell pluck. Sort of like a carillon, almost tubular bells. Right, this is coming out of the Korg Modwave. Although I'm processing it using, what's the name of the company? AAS makes a delay called an object delay, and then I'm processing it with Ableton's Shimmer reverb. So we'll be hearing some of that today. Then we've got more of a string-oriented pluck. Everything's washed. Everything's washed in reverb and delay. So that is the Prophet 12. Then we've got, it's like a dulcimer. It's not a sample, that's a Korg Op 6, actually. That's what that's coming out of. This is Live 12. Yeah, I like the Op 6 as well. It's it sounds like a DX. It can sound like a DX7, but it really takes it beyond that and does stuff that you can't do on a DX7. All right, then we've got some organ. So this is like a hollow organ tone. I was talking to, again, Taskboy, the guy I got the ESQ1 from. And we were talking about how a lot of times when you're going through synth presets, every synth has at least a few organs in it, or most synths have at least a few organs in it. But I used to just fly past the organs because they were organs. Not interested. You know, they weren't synthesizers. But really, I like some of these. It's maybe because I'm old now. I used to sell organs. It was like a job. Kind of like a used car salesman. I worked in a mall, and there was an organ store in the mall. This is, 30 years ago when we had malls. And I was that guy who was standing in the mall, right there. You walk through the mall, there's all these shops. And I was the guy standing at the little tiny organ playing, hits from the 1940s and like, hey, how's it going? Doing that kind of stuff. This was in Florida where, all the old people live, and organs were, that was like a luxury item with the market targeting the elderly. And so we would play songs from the youth of the elderly and try and sell them organs. So Kidneys? Are we talking about selling kidneys to buy your next piece of gear? That's a bad idea. Let's not do that. I'm a big advocate of buying more synths, but don't sell organs to do it. Don't sell any other people. Don't organs yours or anyone belonging to anyone else. Okay. I think we talked about Larry Niven last week. He's got a whole series of sci-fi books about bootleggers who steal organs, organ leggers. It's kind of dark. Anyway, organ. And then, let's see if we hop over to... What is this? Oh, this is a Cobalt 8. I like this lead off the Cobalt 8. I've been using it for a few weeks now. Although it's got a little too much reverb. Hang on a second. Maybe a bit more. There we go. And then never too much. Okay. And then there you go, Audrey. We'll just let it ring out for Audrey for a minute. All right, and I just realized someone's going to call me if I don't turn my phone off. So let's turn that off. Let's tell my watch to go to sleep. We're in theater mode. There we go. All right, so those are the sounds. So let's get something going here. Actually, let me bring up the piece that I was running before the intro. I've got a few things that I recorded while I was waiting for you guys and just testing the setup. So... I'll get this sort of running as a loop, then I've got a couple things I want to talk about, and then we'll make some more music. We'll do a little micro performance here. Although some of these, so I'm almost a DJ here. I'm starting things that I had recorded a moment ago. What are we working in? We're in D minor. So coming through the stream, this is the view. If this is an Ableton push, and you can have it in note mode, where you're playing notes. You can have it in clip view, where you can look at your clips that you have recorded previously. And I'm just starting these clips up. All right, that's a pretty good bed. This is a bed that I was using to sort of select these sounds and sort of get them queued up and get them designed the way I like them. And then I just play over it. That playing on its own. right. We'll let that run in the background. That is fun. Okay, let's see. What have I missed here? Hey, my case. Welcome. Welcome back. Steve. Glad you made it. I have to come up with a mnemonic device for Biscuit. Let's see. All right. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. All good. All right. Cool. Anyway, so what's going on? I have a few things I want to talk about. So for those of you who saw the drone last week, the drone is super fun. And I don't know if Andy talked about it yesterday, but we're going to do another one. I know Andy talked about that, but the date is flexible. I think that's posted on we're discussing it on the Discord, and I think it's firmed up. But there will be another drone, and we'll see how it goes. It was super fun the first time. So I asked a question earlier. So I want to buy a Roland synth. I've just, in the collection, I've got this gap. I don't have any synths from Roland. I have a TR-8S drum machine, and that's for when I go out and do, go out and play. I'll take that and a Launchpad Pro, and that'll be my sort of sequencer, my performance system. And I usually take this Nordlead A1 because it's a rack and it's easy I can put everything in a duffel bag and go. But I have no Roland synths, and so I'm trying to figure it out. The Gaia 2 was like right up there. I really wanted to try that. But it's just got a couple, it was even on sale last month and I came really close to buying it, but it's got a couple things that just bug me. And so I didn't go with it. And then, a guy on the Discord has been using it and posting demos and giving feedback, and he's not super chuffed about it. And so, and a couple other friends are like, and it's just a couple $100 out of the range where it would be like, all right, it's a limited synth, but the cost is limited. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm looking at Roland, and I wanted to know if anybody's ever used the System 8. I was looking at it. It's bitimbral, so I've got some requirements when I buy a synth these days. When I buy a synth, it's got to be bitimbral, at least have 2 layers, so I could do something on it. And if it's got a sequencer or arpeggiator, ideally those should be addressable on a per layer basis, so I could have one layer doing one kind of ARP and then another layer doing another kind of ARP, right? I like that for Berlin School stuff, or Prague or whatever. Just sound design. I like to have those layers. And a lot of the Roland synths, like the SH4D is one I was looking at, but its sequencer / arpeggiator is not addressable by layer. It looked like it's got 4 layers and a rhythm part. And so, yeah, new camera angle, Davi. So I like to be able to look at the camera when I'm reading the chat. And before, the camera was coming from this way and I was reading the chat here, and it bugged me when I looked at it afterwards. It's sort of like I'm talking to you guys, but I'm not looking at you. Sort of like someone not, making eye contact when they're talking, and it bugged me. So I moved the camera today. So we'll see. You guys can give me feedback. But let's see. Sectoid. Hey, welcome. If you're new. Let's see. Greets from Germany. Cool. Well, hey man, nice to see you. Nice to meet you. Why Roland if you can have 2 Behringer copies? I have some Behringer copies. I've got a Behringer K2 and I love it. But I mean, I don't know. I'm a collector as well as a player, right? And so I try and have a synth from each major synth family for most manufacturers. And I don't have any Roland synths, and I would like them. So I'm looking at a System 8 maybe, looking for feedback on that. I'm hoping that something gets announced at Super Booth. I have the Roland Cloud, so it's like I'm not hurting for sounds. But, I cut my teeth on a D10 on the D series in the, late 80s. And I love, and I'm a huge fan of Eric Persing, who was the sound designer for Roland back then. The boutiques look good. A friend just, Task Boy, who I mentioned, just picked up the, the JP08? JP08? The little boutique. JX3P. I'm not sure. I can't remember what it's pseudo cloning. Everybody is upset because when it came out a couple of years ago or last year, because it doesn't accurately. It's a Roland boutique that doesn't accurately copy everything out of the old synth. But I don't know anything about the old synth, so I'm not that worried about it. But it looks good. The problem with it for me is USB powered noise, which some people have no trouble with, some people have some trouble with. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. He'll keep using it. He's been posting a bunch of demos and music that he's been making with it. So, and it sounds good. So it's on the list. But System 8, maybe, I don't know. It's not Roland Cloud in a box, because Roland Cloud is, for the most part, what is it? Zencore stuff. And the System 8's not a Zencore synth. It's an ACB synth. So maybe, I don't know. I'm looking for feedback. The 707, yes, 707's a groove box. That's the other thing I've got against, what is it? The SH4D. I mean, you can use them as synths, but they're intended to be groove boxes. And I'm a keyboard synth guy. I have a bunch of desktop modules, but none of them are groove boxing in that, animal variety. But multi-timbral, 2 layers at least. I prefer 4. So I don't know. I don't mind, Audrey, as far as classic stuff, I actually avoid vintage for the most part. I avoid old stuff, unless it's a really good deal, because I don't want to maintain it, and I'm really bad at electronic stuff. So I can switch a battery out on a synth safely, more or less. Didn't hurt myself too badly the last time I did it. But doing maintenance on things that are at the end of their life doesn't really move me. I was looking at I want another Ensoniq, and I was looking at a SD1 that's for sale locally, sort of locally, a couple hours away. But the owner was not comfortable with me coming and testing the synth and examining it. They were like, I don't like to invite people to my home. Sorry. They were willing to shoot a video of them demoing the synth, but I really want to lay my hands on it and really check it, so it wasn't going to go. The System 8 does give you access to the Xenology stuff. I don't know. I thought it's an ACB synth, not a Xenology synth. You can load plug out models, but those models are ACB models. They're not Xenology, so I don't know. The D110s are going cheap. Yes. I spent my whole early days with the D110. I don't need it anymore. I have it all memorized. So it's okay. The JX08, thanks, Steve. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. It really comes down to USB noise. That's a contender. It's 2 layers. It's got separate sequencer and ARP for each layer. It's really just, is there USB noise or isn't there? I may just have to borrow a Task Boys if he's willing to part with it for a weekend and try it out and just see how it is. And the system, so get this. So I live in Boston, and Thomann in Germany will ships over here really fast and very inexpensively, relatively speaking. But there's a bunch of products that Thomann cannot ship here. If you go there and you put something in your cart, it'll say, we cannot ship to you in the US. Sorry, we have an agreement or whatever. They've got, some other distributor over here, probably Sweetwater, it puts up a stink and it's like, nope, they're exclusive for the US or something like that. But during the holidays, or I think when there are times of overstock, I think those rules don't apply, because last winter I bought a Blofeld for under $400 new from Thomann, and they shipped it to me, in a couple days, and it's great. And that same synth from Sweetwater here is like it's $500 or $600. It's crazy. But now when I go put a Blofeld in my cart from Thomann, they say, nope, it's blocked. You can't do it. But the System 8 isn't. So if I go to Thomann right now and I put a System 8 in my cart, it's only $1,300. I think it's $200 off at Sweetwater's right now, but it's still $1,500 or $1,600. And shipping from Sweetwater is free-ish. I mean, I'm sure it's wrapped in, but it's marked as free. Shipping from Thomann is $100. So it's basically $1,400 for a System 8 from Thomann, and I could get it right now. So I'm thinking about it. but I don't know. System 8's ACB. Let's see. Yeah, verify that the VFX, SD, SD1. Yeah, they're all the same, right? I think those are patch compatible, the VFX, the FX SD, and the SD1. But I like I like that family. I like that whole Ensoniq Transwave stuff. And the SD1 is polyphonic aftertouch and allegedly has a really nice key bed. So I would like that synth, but the owner won't let me come look at it. And so, I'm going to pass on that one. But anyway, so yeah. So I always check Thomann now before I buy from Sweetwater, just in case, because their prices are cheaper generally. Even though I have to pay for shipping, but the shipping's still relatively low. Let's see. The advantage of living in Germany. Yes. Hey, Robert, welcome back. Anyway, so that's one thing I want to talk about. I'm looking for an appropriate Roland synth, and I hope something comes out at Super Booth. But, we'll see. The Juno X, I almost pulled the trigger on that 6 months ago. But it's the panel. I don't actually like the Juno panel. Anyway, same with the Jupiter X. Let's see. I can't read this anymore. I need new glasses. Oh yeah. So let's see. I was threatening to do a video on how I think everything is basically a VST in a box now. I got tired. I was triggered by this. Someone said something about, oh, that synth's just a VST in a box. They said disparagingly. And really, when you think about it, everything's a VST in a box is the attitude I'm taking, depending on your perspective, which may offend some people or not. But I was going to do a video on it, but I'm not now because it was like a trigger response. I calmed down. We'll see where it goes. Hey, Sin Samurai. Let's see. What's going on the Discord? I haven't decided, I just am intentionally. I'm a benevolent dictator on the Discord. We've been changing some of the format of some of the Discord around, and the jury's out on whether anyone likes it or not, but benevolent dictator. We'll see how it goes. I have very minimalist data retention policies, and I blew away a channel that someone important to me was using. They're like, I locked the channel down, but they were like, I wanted to go back and look at some of that old stuff, and I was just like, yeah, I tend to slash and burn. I'm really sorry about that. So I'm pretty sure he's forgiven me. He's in this chat room right now. I hope you've forgiven me. Let's see. And Jam Taba. We discovered Jam Taba. So I knew Jam Taba existed a year ago, but I didn't like jamming until apparently I started jamming drones. I always did. Every time I went to a jam for anything, it was, hey man, can you play 145? Or you can play 16-bar blues, which is fine and it's a lot of fun, but it gets boring really fast for me, and so I generally don't jam ever. But we did this jam last week, and we've been jamming in off hours. I'll come home from work, and 5 o'clock my time is like bedtime for UK Europe. And everybody or a lot of the people in the Discord are like in the jam room, and I'll get the message on Discord be like, yeah, we could sure use some blah 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 in here, and I'm like, my wife's looking at me going, dinner? And I'm like, I really need to jam for half an hour. Is that okay? And she's just like, you may go. All right, and hop in. But Jam Taba is fun, especially super fun for Berlin School and for drones. Who knew, right? So I'm having a blast with it. And thanks to Jeff Hopkins there in the chat for setting it up. It's really awesome, man. Let's see. Who else? Let's see. Anyone new pop in? Enzo, hey, welcome. Yeah, everything is a VST. It depends on your perspective, What's the basic workflow for jamming drones? It's really simple. It's pick a key, pick a note even. Everyone, we're on D, And for people who are droning, like true drones, just a sustained note, they play that note, they tune to that note, and then they play with timbre modification, right? They fold things and and bring layers in and out it's really interesting. You don't have to worry so much about timing as you do about texture and listening to each other. That's true for everything. You end up listening to each other. Right? This is me repeating myself from last week, but it works great. And so we're going to try it again in the next jam with a few more rhythmic things. So people are going to try their ARPs and their sequences, see if we can get them synchronized to the point where it still sounds good, but it might be interesting. Though, Andy, we do want you to continue to play guitar over it. You know, feel free to sequence anything, you know, from the Metropolis, but the guitar sound, man, you sound like Steve Howe. We need that. We need space guitar, man. So you have to still play guitar. I'm sorry, it's not an option. Let's see. What do you say, Enzo? At least hardware doesn't count on cloud licensing to die because the software vendor hasn't updated due to the OS. Yes. I work for a software company that does like activation online and stuff like that. And so I understand completely how annoying that is. But you know, you have options. You don't have to go that way, but you know, whatever. Oh, you and Andy and Anna got in on a public Jamtaba server last night. Nice. I will have to. Well, last night for you is probably dinner time for me, right? So hopefully I'll get around to it. Post it in the events channel in the Discord when you guys do that. I'll come listen. And Garen, are you reading about the System 8? I'm trusting you to fill me in. Okay. Does a ferrite core eliminate USB noise? I don't know. In fact, I've never experienced USB noise because I really minimize the amount of USB connections I have. I try to have 3 or fewer USB connections. So the whole, like, you can plug every synth in via USB, and, you know, and control it that way through your DAW or through whatever, or you just use USB MIDI. That's super useful. I recognize that, but I'm old and grumpy, and my experience is that the more USB connections you have, the less stable your system is. So, and that's my experience. I'm not saying that's a rule. But so I limit everything. The main workstation has only 2 USB connections right now. One for audio and one to the push. And then the push is sort of like a hub for DIN MIDI, basically. So I don't know. I don't know if a ferrite core eliminates USB noise. Let's see. I should probably catch up on the chat. I'm like way behind. Internet router just died. I'm sorry. Yeah, Andy's got to bring his guitar. Public servers with vocals. Interesting. You guys capture a recording of that. I want to see what that's all about, because I don't have a concept of how you would do that, because you're offset by 8 bars or something like that. It's like, how do you sing with someone, or were they moaning, like, you know, scat singing kind of thing? So, all right, let's see. Ferric beads don't eliminate the noise always. USB noise is so dependent on so many things. I know. So I've never experienced it, right? So, let's see. Hey, Malefice Dark, welcome. Your channel is one of the best on YouTube. You're probably talking to someone in the chat and not me. But if it's me, thanks. Appreciate it. And if you're talking to someone else chat, that's fine too, because I'm sure they deserve it as well. Everyone in the chat is cool. All right. So you guys talk amongst yourselves. What are we doing on time? Oh, let's make some more music. So let's do something from scratch. All right. All right. Let me clear this out. And we'll clear that out, and we'll clear that out. So let's do some Berlin School, like classic, with these timbres, all right? So what we'll do is we'll set up a really short loop, and we'll do it with a string pluck. All right, let me start a small pattern. Helps if you actually have your recording running correctly. Let's try again. Really short loop, shorter than that one. Classic. It's just root, fifth, and then an octave up. And what we'll do, we'll use this sort of wood pluck, and we'll put a longer pattern over it and then shorten it down so it's like an odd number of measures, an odd number of beats, and they'll phase. All right. All right. Let's make this short. We've got two patterns. We've got this one. All right, it's what is that? 1 bar long, 4 beats. And we've got this one, which is 1 bar and 3 beats, so 7 beats. And we'll put a little bass under it. We'll try to keep it real short. I gotta noodle a bit just to find what I want for this bass pattern. We're gonna do it up an octave. That a little bit. And we'll put a big deep drone under it. Get 8 bars of drone here. Add some bells. Dulcimer pluck. replace the synth drone with the bass drone. Missed the end. There we go. Fixed it. It'll take an iteration for it to get fixed. Let's play a lead over this. Some stuff out. That needed a beat, but I didn't have anything prepared for drums. There we go. Anyway. All right. Let's do this. We'll start those up and bring them down. It's always fun. I get lost in those moments, even when I screw up. I screwed up really big in there. I don't know if you noticed or not. I'm sure some of you did, but it's okay. Let's see. Bring the levels down. Rich, thanks. I appreciate it, man. Let's see. Was someone asking about the bass again? There is a video. It's called Rick. Search for Synth Seeker Rick bass. In the video, I totally take it apart and show you how to make it. You can make your own if you have the app. You need Omnisphere and Trillion, but you can make it with anything. You need some bass guitar samples, things like that, and you need something that'll do a Taurus foot pedal kind of sound because that's the drone that's underneath it, doing that octave thing. Oh no, people were talking about EVE Online. Great game. I lost many years of my life to it. Not as many as World of Warcraft, but it was where I went after World of Warcraft, and it just ate all of my time. I remember going on vacation and having to log in on my brother-in-law's computer because my character's training, they had finished the book, and I had to get and queue up the next training book. Anyway, EVE is a cool game. Beautiful game. Good music, too. Let's see. So what kind of music was that? So that was influenced by Berlin School, right? Berlin School techniques. But I like video games, like game music, and I like film music. So I used to score films. I've done 2 feature-length films and a whole bunch of shorts. And I did it long enough to realize that I didn't enjoy doing it as a career. And so I stopped doing it. And now I just make music for fun, and I collect synths. So it's nice. I am in IMDb. So not my picture though. Just I'm referenced in 2 or at least 1 of the films that I did. So let's see. The bass will be Luke's legacy. No, that bass sound is Chris Squire's legacy. Maybe Geddy Lee. When you really either use a pick or your finger to really honk on that Rickenbacker string. And then you run it in stereo and distort one of the 2 paths and then merge them back together. That's basically it. Yeah. Many, many thousands of hours in WoW and EVE, for sure. As many of you do as well, I'm sure. Oh God, don't even. I remember corporate arguments between the corp members, getting in screaming matches in what were we using for chat back then? It wasn't Discord. It was something else, some other third-party app. Anyway, let's see. Not a celebrity, not at all. Oh, Rich, recount regale them with your stories of EVE Online from back in the day. Anyway, so it's 3:01. I basically just do an hour stream every Sunday at 2 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, right? Evenings for those of you in the UK and Europe. And really, that's about it. And we do Berlin School noises and talk about synths and play with synths and give demos and make bad sci-fi references and video game jokes. So thanks for spending time with me. As always, I am going to shut down the stream shortly because what else is going on today? I do have to finish doing the rock border around the GNU garden. So, which I might not finish today because it's really cold and rainy here. Ugh, right now. I'm in Boston. So, but thanks everyone. I appreciate it. And I will verbally, texturally say thank you. And I will talk to you all later. And those of you in the know, I'll see you on the Discord server. And thanks. Have a great one. See ya. Oh, I should do a fade out for Andy. Hold on. There we go. See ya. Oh, he's got to mute the mic too.